friends and subscribers, welcome back once more to Old Time Sinting Come Back Again. I hope you have been enjoying yourself and living life to the fullest and serving God as you go along. My friends and viewers, have you ever encountered a strange encounters in your life? And in the end, it turns out very beautiful. Today, we look at the story A Strange-Looking Bird. Once upon a time, in the corner of a barn in a farmyard, a white mother duck laid 12 eggs. But when she counted the eggs, there were 13 eggs, and one of the eggs was exceptionally very large. She sat on the egg for a period of time, after which 12 of the eggs were hatched, and the little ducklings came out. However, the 13th egg did not hatch, and she sat on it for a few more days. After a time, the large egg hatched at last. But to her surprise, instead of a fluffy yellow duckling, out came a big gray-looking bird. It did not look like a duckling at all. The other animals in the farmyard all laughed at the bird and called it ugly. The fowls and other ducks pecked at it and called her ugly. They teased her every chance they got. The mother duck tried to protect her from their cruelty and teasing, but the ugly duckling lived a sad, unhappy, and a lonely life. She was so unhappy that she ran away from the barnyard. The ugly bird wandered all over the countryside by herself, but even there the ugly bird met with unkindness and constant danger. She had no peace. She sought shelter in a cottage, but a cat and some hen living there laughed at her and chased her away. Winter came, and the ugly bird almost froze to death. A man found her half frozen and took her home, where he cared for her, and she recovered and managed to stay alive during the winter months. One day after spring had come and the world was warm again, she went for a swim on the lake. When she noticed that there were some other birds on the lake as well, she did not know what kind of birds they were, but as soon as she set eyes on them, she loved them. Then they were so beautiful. They held their neck so uprightly and swam so gracefully and smoothly with their white feathers. The ugly bird felt an urge to go and join them, no matter how they treated her. She went towards them timidly, expecting them to disdain her and ridicule her. As she reached them, she bowed her head and sat in sadness, expecting them to start pecking at her. But as she bent her head, she saw her reflection in the water. She got the shock of her life. When she saw how beautiful she was no longer an ugly bird. She had grown into a beautiful swan. The other swan welcomed her with open wings. The ugly bird changed over the winter months and was the most beautiful and graceful swan on the lake. Moral of this story: never should the kettle call the pot black, for one day that pot will be cleaned and look shiny, while the kettle will remain on the stove to keep the water hot. Just because you are different, it does not mean you are no good. Proverbs. When writing the story of your life, don't let anyone hold the pen. Know your worth. Never put yourself in the bargain bin, for that's where others will value you. Remember, some of the best thing of your life hasn't happened as yet. Friends, we have come to the end of today's story. I hope you enjoyed it and you'll find some value in it that you can take away for real life. Continue watching and subscribing and sharing my stories.